All right, Fart Boxes, welcome to the Week 1 recap, Week 2 preview of the Newark Fantasy Cows. Let's go ahead and dive right in. I'll start off by saying that, yes, it was a very poor showing by my team, but luckily we were matched up against Jonathan Kirch, who had an even worse showing. Holy shit, dude, I've seen stronger team performances in photographs of mass graves. That was absolutely brutal. And now you've gone ahead with the first trade of the season, first one to get trade raped. You voluntarily took Steven Jackson? Dude, S. Jackson is something that happens to you. It is not a choice that you make. And that choice is absolutely going to haunt you as you go and play Becker in Week 2. Becker, despite a loss, had actually a very strong showing from everyone on his team that wasn't Jamal Charles. And you don't normally need a strong performance out of your round 1 pick. Not necessary. Don't worry, Becker. But seriously, fix your team photo. Shit's annoying. Becker did lose to Brian, who had a monstrous week, 151 points. Actually did a little bit of research and found that that is more points than Brian scored in any game all last year, as long as you don't count the games he played against Kirch, which I'm assuming that we don't. At least I haven't been. With that, Brian does have some tougher matchups this week for his players, so I think we're going to see some lower points. I was also really sad to see Jennings have a really solid week and make Brian think that it's okay to draft Giants players. It's not. The curse will come back to you for being a homer. I guarantee it. Anyway, he's going up against Mikey T, who's projected in a close game. Mikey T had a loss due to some really poor performance from some of his older players. Not much out of Fitz, not much out of Gore, not much out of Witten, who you may remember I said he reached for. Guess what? I was right. But anyway, he does have some strong players they left on his bench last week. Golden Tate with 15. Steve Smith apparently still knows how to play for being ancient. So Mikey T has a lot of prospects going forward. But yeah, he did lose last week to Matt Smith, who just a monstrous performance on Megatron. Made that pick look exactly as good as we thought it looked. Right. Which also helped you offset the terrible performance by Zach Stacy with forecasts of more terrible performances to come. Also, in your T.Y. Hilton Trade Watch update, a moderate performance with 9 points, still worth considering according to sources that are Matt Smith. Alright. Now Matt will be playing against Micah, who had a strong win in Week 1. Really good performances from some of his wide receivers. Brandon Marshall had a good week. Brandon Cooks had a good week. And of course he benched both of them to put in Marcus Wheaton from his home team Pittsburgh Steelers, who had a whole bunch of fun 2-yard catches to very poorly get 10 points. We'll see how that works out for you. That's probably going to be a lot of points on the team. Michael just beat Mark, who had a tough loss. But the good news for Mark is that he's really hoping to rally around his first-round stud, Adrian Peterson. Wait, what's this? Oh, in a surprise announcement, Adrian Peterson has joined Ray Rice in the perennial club founded by Ray Lewis and Ben Roethlisberger, the Scumbag Club. That's going to be a really tough blow for Mark. Luckily, he's got D'Angelo Williams to bounce back with. I'm sure we're all expecting good things there. Okay. He's playing against Pat. Pat also came off a loss. Pat's team's actually looking pretty beat up. A lot of small injuries, a lot of questionable game day decisions for Pat's team. And really, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about Pat's team. I think I covered it pretty well last week. Pretty in depth. And of course, he did lose to Eric, who very, very intelligently chose to start Darren Sproles over Doug Martin, which really was the difference between a win and a loss for Eric. And it also begs the question, if you're going to start Darren Sproles there, then why even draft Doug Martin? I mean, he fucking just murdered you last year with a whole season of disappointment. But I guess he'll serve you well on the bench, and we'll see how that goes. Eric's got a really strong wide receiver core. Luckily, they're all going to have explosive diarrhea tomorrow, so none of them will play, and I will have a huge win as usual. With that, guys, that's all I've got for Week 1. I hope you lemon partiers have a fun weekend, and I will see you in the championship.